Adam, how would you describe who you are for the benefit of our audience?
Many people might know me as co-founder of Siri, which is the virtual personal assistant in your iPhone.
When you say the co-founder of that, what do you mean, like the organization that produced Siri or the designer of the technology of Siri?
Siri was a startup with 3 co-founders. Dag Kitlaus was CEO, I was VP engineering and the main back-end technology person, and Tom Gruber was CTO and VP of design.
And did that eventually become part of SRI?
It was a spin-out from SRI, and it was acquired by Apple after about 2 years, and now it's on millions of phones and iPads.
And what is your connection with Doug Engelbart?
I've known Doug for about 20 years. I had been at SRI and met him at that time.
Did you work closely with him?
I did, on a number of projects. When I first met him, I was a young researcher, and he started to describe this system and vision that he had. And I was so confident, I said, well, just tell me about it, and I'll build it in a weekend. And the more I learned about it, the bigger and bigger I realized the vision was. And I've basically spent the rest of my career doing little bits and pieces of ideas that he put into my head.
So would you say that you're still involved in carrying out Doug's vision?
Absolutely, and I think almost everyone who meets him is changed by him, by the person he is, the ideas he has, the way he thinks. And I think he was frustrated that his entire vision couldn't instantly been pulled off. But I'm one of the generations of people who come out and try to change the world and move it forward, inspired by his vision.
Hold 1 second. Could you check the transmitter? Is the cord loose? Screw in the screw there. Because
is there noise?
You see that metal band?
Yes.
Screw it in.
It's all the way in.
All right. All right.
Usually people tell me I have a screw loose up here, not down here.
It was cutting in and something's cutting in and out. I don't know if it's the wind or what. All right,
let's try it with a different orientation.
Not too much wind here.
No, that's okay. It's not
So
necessary.
is it okay now?
Yeah, let's keep on going.
Okay, so let's forget that interruption and just resume where we were. Is there anything about Doug that especially stands out in your memory?
So many things. I'll tell one kind of story that I remember. It was in the late 90s, and I was starting to research and learn about Doug, and I was watching an old videotape from the 80s. And the person was interviewing Doug, and they said, well, a lot of your ideas have really gotten out there. This idea of a mouse is now pretty ubiquitous, and this whole notion of having multiple windows, that's really taking off. But this crazy idea of this hyperlinked multimedia document environment, that just never went anywhere. Why do you think that is? And I'm sitting here in the late 90s as the internet is exploding and it's becoming the backbone to everything. And he was just like, I don't know. I just don't understand it. And I was like, wow, that was just one tiny piece of his idea that now, really started to come to fruition and change everyone's lives. And it was only a fraction of his vision. I'm like, what other pieces have been missed along the way that will have huge ramifications for humankind?
What would you say is the most basic essence of his vision?
The most basic essence, it's definitely technology is an aid to help people. And when I was at Siri, I had a picture of Doug over my desk every day to remember, here I'm building an intelligent assistant, an AI of sorts. And it was to remind me it's not about replacing people. It's about augmenting their capabilities, being a tool to serve humankind and to make humans superhuman, not to replace them. So I think that's a key part of what he was about.
Do you think that vision is on the way to realization? Is that the direction we're in fact going in?
I think, but Doug would say, why is everyone going so slowly? When I think of Doug, he would frequently do this. He would just point. And he'd kind of point upwards into the future, and people would sort of struggle to understand the picture and interpret it in their words, and then move forward in life. So I think even though he's gone, I still see him pointing the way, and that vision through many, many interpretations and reinterpretations is moving the world in this way. But I think it will take a long time, maybe thousands of years.
Was he good at expressing his vision so people could understand it and kind of make it their own?
Well, most people are locked into paradigms. They're used to seeing the world in the way they're comfortable with and used to. And he was one of the few, true visionaries who could think so much bigger and without constraint on the existing. So when people would hear what he was saying, they try to interpret it in terms of a vision. When I was a young engineer, I'd say, well, I can build that in a weekend. We have XML now, we have web servers, we have, but really those things are, elements of a paradigm of the existing, and I'm missing the big picture. He's like, if it's not having global, if countries and all of humanity is not working together, that's not achieving his vision. And XML and a web server is not going to help it. So I think many people who would listen to his descriptions of visions would see it in the context of very local, small pictures like a mouse or hyperlinks. But his true vision was much more global, much grander, and long-term.
Do you have anything else to add about him before we finish?
No, just I'll say, I've met a few heroes in my life who, are known for a certain body of work and are tremendous in this way. But one thing about Doug was he taught me as much about being a person, how to be a person, as all of the ideas and technologies that he brought. He would focus on a person, ask them, how do you spell your name? And remember it. And I go, boy, for me, names go in and out of, as quickly as anything. I should be different. I should be more like Doug. And in so many ways, just being around him, he would teach you how to be a better human. And I remember that.